Hey guys, this is Göktuğ from the GWT team. I was going to publish my slides from the JsInterop.create conference. Then I noticed that it is much less useful without the missing live coding part of the talk. So I decided to go ahead and record that as a screencast. In this demo, I will demonstrate some features of the Nextgen JsInterop while adding support for web components to my GWT app. I am not going to use existing user libraries so that you can see how easy it is to develop with these new features. Let's take a quick look at the HTML file of our GWT app. Beforehand, I went ahead and added these imports for web components, a Polymer toggle button and a Google Maps component. Now I will start by adding Polymer toggle button to my app. First thing I need to do is to get access to the document. To do that, I will use GWT.GSIN, which is basically executes the code snippet passed in as a parameter instead of writing a native method. And now I will assign the return value to document. And for the purpose of this exercise, I will go ahead and define the document interface as part of this file, so you can see everything in a single file. This is an interface to a JavaScript object. I will annotate the interface with a JsInterface annotation. As now we have access to the document of the app, the next thing we will do is to create element using its tag name through this interface. Here I will add the code to create element and pass Polymer UI toggle button as parameter. This will return an HTML element. So let's go ahead and define this as well. I will also create this as part of this file for simplicity. Again, this is a contract with JavaScript, so I will add the JsInterface annotation. Now I can go ahead and let Eclipse automatically create the method. If you notice, I'm just writing code based on the contract and then let Eclipse do the generation. Let's go ahead and add an event listener here as well. I will listen the click event and I will just use the earlier definition to make this quicker. In here, I will just call window.alert and I will take the shortcut by using the window from grid and use that to show that this is working. So I created the button and added the event listener. Now in the second part, I will get the body of the document and add the widget there. So here I'm using GWT.GSIN one more time, and this should return again an HTML element. Now from here, I will call append child and paste the button. Once again, I will let Eclipse do the generation for me. Let's switch to browser and see if it works. And it works. Now we have included a Polymer widget in our GWT application with a few lines of code. I don't want to keep hanging, so I will copy paste more interesting stuff so we can move quicker. Compared to earlier state, I just incorporated a Google Map web component. I declared an interface for the component that extends from HTML element and marked with JsInterface. It also defines the accessors for show center marker property that is marked with JS property annotation. So the compiler will treat them as property accesses. And it does the same thing. It creates the element, sets the style, and then appends to the body. Another change here is with the event listener. Now we are toggling the center marker visibility. Let's get back to browser and compile the app. Hopefully, yeah, here the map is. Now I can click the button and that will show hide the center marker. So here we basically included two components developed from different technologies, and they are working together inside Grid, collaborating with each other. We can zoom in, zoom out, and everything works as expected. In the first part of this practice, we actually only use existing web components. So now I will show you how we can define our own. This new component is going to be a custom map component that's going to compose the two existing components we had earlier in our example. So now for this case, I will extend HTML element prototype to have the HTML element in my prototype chain. And I will do one more thing here to spec define some lifecycle events like created, entered view, left view. So here I will add the lifecycle interface to get notified when the element is created. And then when created, I can do the definition of the widget. Now I will go ahead and copy paste the existing code we have written here. And as I am no longer editing the body, I will remove that and change the append child calls to super.append child so that they will be added to this element. We have finished the definition of my map. Let's get rid of the existing code from onModule load and instead register and add our own component. I will use the tag name mymap. By the way, you need to use dash in the name as part of the spec so it cannot be collided with any upcoming web elements. As the component is registered with the application, we can now instantiate and append it to the body. Let's take a look if everything still works. So it looks like working. For the second part, instead of creating the element with constructor, I will instead use its tag name. Hopefully, this will still work. And still working. One more thing I would like to show here is the inspect element. So if you look at the structure, we have the My Map, and inside it's the button and Google Map as you would expect. Instead of having a huge hierarchy of div elements here, we have an element structure that makes sense both to browser and to you. This is the end of the demo. I hope this gave you a better idea on some powerful features coming to Grid. Thanks for watching.